You ever have that feeling where on the outside you look like you've got it all together, you're crushing it at work, you're the person everyone can count on, but on the inside, you're just running on empty, feeling like you're one tiny mistake away from it all crashing down? If that rings a bell, trust me, you are so not alone. Let's get into it. In fact, check this out. According to studies like the Burnout Report, a wild 91% of people have dealt with high or even extreme levels of stress in the last year. I mean, think about that. That's not just some number on a page. That's basically everyone. It's this silent epidemic of feeling totally buried while trying to pretend everything's okay. And there's a term for this experience that's really catching on: high-functioning anxiety. Now, it's really important to know this isn't an official diagnosis you'd find in a medical textbook. Think of it more as a really useful way to describe this state of being. Outwardly killing it, but inwardly battling this constant stream of fear, dread, and pure exhaustion. So, here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by talking about that mask we all wear. Then, we'll figure out the difference between just being stressed and being truly overwhelmed. After that, we'll dig into what's actually driving this feeling, that perfectionism engine. And finally, the best part, we'll build a simple, mindful toolkit you can use to get back in the driver's seat. All right, first step, let's talk about that mask. The one that tells the whole world, I'm fine, everything's great, even when it feels like anything but. This right here is the crazy part about high-functioning anxiety. To everyone else, you're the model of success. You hit your deadlines, you juggle all your responsibilities, you're dependable. But what they don't see is that all that incredible performance is being fueled by this nonstop internal chatter of worry and what ifs. It is a constant, draining fight that's completely invisible to everyone else. To really get a grip on what's going on inside, we have to find the right words for it. So let's look at how that everyday stress can snowball into something that feels way more paralyzing. Because as you'll see, the words we use don't just describe our feelings, they can actually shape them. And wow, Brené Brown just nails the difference here, doesn't she? Stress is that frantic feeling of just barely keeping up. You're hitting those moles as fast as you can, but hey, you're still playing the game. Overwhelm, though, that's when the game is just over. You've shut down. You're walking away in tears, so disoriented you can't even do something as simple as finding your car. It is a completely different universe of feeling. And this isn't just you being dramatic. This is straight up biology. When you hit that point of overwhelm, your brain's fear center, the amygdala, basically hijacks the whole system. It just floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And here's the really crucial part. It knocks your prefrontal cortex, your smart, logical, problem-solving brain, completely offline. So when you're overwhelmed and you literally can't think straight, it is not a personal failure. Your brain has physically switched into survival mode. So what's pushing us to this breaking point? Well, for a lot of high achievers, the engine that's always running in the background is perfectionism. But as we're about to find out, not all perfectionism is the same. Researchers have kind of split perfectionism into two main flavors. On one side, you've got personal standards perfectionism. That's your drive, your ambition. It's about setting a high bar and working hard to clear it. But on the other, much darker side, you have self-critical perfectionism. And that's the voice of doubt. It's that nagging feeling that no matter what you do, it's never, ever good enough. And this right here is the kicker. The research is crystal clear. It's that self-critical perfectionism that's a major risk factor for depression. It's not having high standards that burns us out. It's the relentless self-criticism and that feeling of never measuring up that does the real harm. Okay, deep breath. We've talked about the problem and we've looked at the why. Now for the most important part. What on earth can we do about it? This is where we get practical and build a toolkit to help you manage these moments and get your nervous system back on track. First up is a tool for emotional first aid. Think of it like an emergency brake. It's called the stop technique. The moment you feel that wave of overwhelm start to build, you just stop. Whatever you're doing, just pause. Then, take a single, slow, deep breath to ground yourself in the moment. Next, observe. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Just notice it. No judgment allowed. And only then you proceed, but now with intention, making a conscious choice about your next move. It's a simple little circuit breaker you can use absolutely anywhere, anytime. So the stop technique is amazing for hitting pause and stopping a spiral. But once you've paused, sometimes you need a way to actually process what's happening, right? That's where a practice called RAIN comes in. It helps you go from just interrupting the feeling to really understanding it. RAIN is a 4-step meditation.
First, you recognize what's going on. Just name it. This is anxiety. Second, you allow it to be there. I know it sounds weird, but don't fight it. Just let it be. Third, you investigate with kindness. Get curious. Where is this feeling in my body? What thoughts are spinning around it? And finally, the most important step, you nurture yourself with self-compassion. Basically, you offer yourself the same kindness you'd give to a friend who is having a hard time.
So here's a quick cheat sheet of your new toolkit. You've got mindful breathing for day-to-day stress. You've got the super fast stop technique for when you're spiraling. You've got the deeper rain practice for really working through tough emotions. And underpinning it all is self-compassion, which gets to the root of that self-criticism. The idea is you can pick the right tool for the job. And that brings us to what might be the most powerful, game-changing tool we have. Remember that nasty self-critical perfectionism we talked about? The one that's driving the whole cycle of overwhelm? Well, self-compassion is the antidote. It is the one thing that can truly disarm that harsh inner critic. And let's be clear, self-compassion is not about making excuses or being lazy. It's about treating yourself with the exact same warmth and understanding you'd give to a good friend. It's about finally accepting that being imperfect and struggling sometimes doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're human. It's about replacing that constant judgment with genuine care. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. As you go on with your day, just ask yourself, what is one small, kind thing I can do for myself today? Not as a prize for getting something done, but just because you're a human being who deserves some care, especially on the hard days. Because that simple act, that's where the real shift begins.